Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the GSD Show. I'm your host, Mike Arce. Actually, it's a lie. I'm not your host today. Today, I'm not your host. Today, your host is actually Jack Thomas, and he's the host of Fitness Business Asia podcast. Awesome podcast, and they actually interviewed me about a week ago, and it was a marketing episode, but it covered a lot of things about the landscape today that I said, man, I really want to take this episode and share it with my audience. We actually went over the 6 things that studio owners should go all in on right now. So without further ado, this is my interview on the Fitness Business Asia podcast with your host, Jack Thomas.
If you own a gym or you need a gym, this is your guy.
Hi, I'm Mike Arce, and I've spent most of my career in the fitness industry and helping those in it succeed. And after helping over 2,000 studios and 50 different franchises within the industry, I've learned a lot about what it takes to be successful. Here, I'll teach your studio how to advertise, how to sell, retain more members, increase profits, and become an overall better business owner in the space. And I share it all with you here. Welcome to the GSD Show.
This is the Fitness Business Asia podcast, of course. We're going to kick things off. Welcome to the Fitness Business Asia podcast. I am the host of the show, Jack Thomas, and today we are very proud to welcome Mike Arce to the show, who is behind one of the fitness industry's most recognized and successful gym marketing agencies, which is Loud Rumor. Thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So I'm just going to say it, as an industry in Asia, we do not do marketing well in the fitness industry, which is a damn shame, as we don't get to help all the people that we really need to get out there and help. For me, you can recognize a great agency by the way they market themselves, and Loud Rumor do a fantastic job with this. Mike and his team run a podcast called the GSD Show. They have a great YouTube channel, and they currently serve over 1,500 fitness studios worldwide. We have a ton of big and important stuff to get into today, Mike. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into the fitness industry, and where is Loud Rumor at today?
Yeah, so really quickly, because I want to get to the part that helps studios as fast as possible. My story just helps give credibility to your audience, right? So I was I was a personal trainer. I owned a personal training company for several years prior to selling it and then starting a marketing agency because I like the sales and marketing part of it. And I honestly was a little cocky, and I believe that I was good enough in sales and marketing to help anyone and everyone. So we started a company that really serviced dentists and doctors and attorneys and gyms and whatever we could, right? And I wasn't nearly as good as I thought I was, or I wasn't making nearly as much of an impact because everyone was so different. Through some coaches and mentors and books that I've read, everything led me down the road to just, stick with one thing. And so I married my 2 passions, fitness and the fitness business, and then sales and marketing. I brought those 2 things together, and I'm the happiest guy on earth as far as what I do in my career. And I'm helping as many fitness businesses as I can throughout the world.
That's awesome, Mike. Congratulations on your success. I do remember in one of your recent podcasts when you talked about that change from dentistry into fitness studios, and you said that you went from 42 clients to 500 members in 18 months, I believe it was, after kind of niching down on fitness. So
Yes.
What lessons can we take from that transition and kind of really choosing the fitness industry as the area that you would focus on?
Well, first off, don't choose the fitness industry unless you love it like I did, right? And same thing, if as a fitness studio owner, you shouldn't choose, spin or yoga or Pilates unless you either A, have a passion for it, or B, you have a partner that does, and you just have a passion for the business side of the business, and your partner has a passion for the actual thing. Right? So, and that's okay. That's what sharks do, right? Shark Tank guys and the profit. They don't necessarily have a passion for Jello shots and whatever they're selling. They have a passion for the business side of it, and they are partnering with somebody that has a passion in that. So, that's my take on that. I initially niched into dentists because of opportunity. I thought there was an opportunity. I had 11 dentists out of my 42 clients, and out of that, the next best thing I think was attorneys. I had 3 of them. So I figured, well, I already have a head start on dentists. Let me just work with 11 of them. And so I took the path of what I thought was least resistance. Problem was, Jack, I hate the dentist. I don't like going to the dentist. I go to the dentist every 3 months, even though they tell me every 6. Just so that they have nothing to work on because it's just so little. So I hope to go in there and they have nothing to do because I'm going in there so frequently. And so I don't like learning about it. I don't like learning about the industry. I think a lot of the stuff behind dentistry is just gross. And so I couldn't do it on an ongoing basis with joy. Coincident.
Podcast on dentistry marketing.
What's that?
You couldn't start a podcast on dentistry.
No. Just interview that? No way. But fitness is my love. I was working out twice a day for fun on my own because I enjoy it. I love learning about it on my own. And the business of fitness was always intriguing to me too. When I ran my personal training company, I was running gyms. It felt great. So when I got this opportunity to work with this fitness studio across the street from me called Jabs Boxing, I was like, sure. And I didn't think it would turn into anything. I wasn't even thinking I should switch niches. I was just upset thinking niching didn't work. And then we took care of them and they got really good results. And I was able to help them with things that they weren't good at, like how to get somebody excited to sign up for a membership at the highest level, and how to get somebody to refer more people, and how to get somebody to their goal faster so you can get case study videos. I was able to help them with that. And I wasn't nearly as impactful or even interested in dentistry. So now I saw how much of an impact it made. So I ended up signing up 2 people, friends of mine that own gyms and studios for free, just to see if it was a fluke. I didn't want to base my entire next decision of niching into fitness off of one success story. So I took 2 clients on for free just so I can get data quicker. I wanted them to not have any reason to say no. They said yeah, and in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, I knew it was real, and loud rumor 100% converted to fitness only. So I think number 1, you've got to be good at it. Number 2, you've got to really love it and have a passion for the people that have a passion for it as well, so you can love talking to the people in the industry. And number 3, this has got to be something that you can commit to on a long term. You know, it can't be a fad. Like some people just randomly get into yoga. They do yoga for 3 weeks and they never do it again. So that's not an interest. That's like you're going through a little fad. For me, I mean, I was in fitness already for 10 years prior doing stuff. So it was an easy switch.
Yeah, you make a very good point there, Mike, about underestimating that transition from great coach into business owner. And I absolutely agree. You need to find that passion for business. That needs to turn you on. That needs to excite you. If it doesn't, continue being a coach and find the best place you can to actually be that great coach, I think. So, Mike, that's a loud rumor. Do you help with just the marketing, or do you help in other areas as well, like developing systems, recruitment, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we do help with everything, Jack. And obviously, I'm not good enough, nor is anybody good enough at everything to help everyone with everything at the highest level. So what I had to do was what any good company does, and we hire the best in different areas. So I've got incredible coaches that have done really successful pre-sales. They've mastered the pre-sale part of it. Coaches that have run businesses that run without them, like 7 of them, where they don't have to be there, right? And businesses that have incredible retention numbers and really know how to maximize retention. These are all business owners or high-level executives at these studios or these franchises that were able to come in and fill in the gaps that I was lacking in. So this is one thing I think a lot of people like to hide this, and I heard somebody talk about this the other day on a podcast, and I don't agree with it. Can I tell you what it is?
Go ahead.
So somebody on a podcast the other day, and I don't listen to their podcast, it just came up on my feed, and they said, you should never hire someone to coach you that has never done what you're looking to be successful in. If they've never owned a gym, if they've never owned a fitness studio, you should never hire them to teach you how to do it. You should never hire them as a coach. Can I tell you why I so disagree with that? Really? Because I've never owned an actual gym or a fitness studio. I was on TV the other day and the anchor messed up and said, you did. He assumed I did. I never did. So I never have owned a gym or a fitness studio. But can I make a couple good points here for you, Jack?
Yeah, go on, Mike.
Okay. You know who the best football coach is of all time? Not football like American football. I know you guys say football for soccer. But you know what the best football coach is of all time?
I do not know American football.
It's okay. His name is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick never played one game in the NFL, and he's the best NFL coach ever. In fact, he's won more championships, I think, than any other coach. And he only played in high school, and it wasn't even the sport he liked. He liked lacrosse, right? Best coach. You know the best coaches in the NBA? Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich never played in the NBA. In fact, he barely played in college. You know who the best hockey coach was? Scotty Bowman. Again, never played. Renee Grant Williams is the best voice coach. She coached some of the best singers, never once sang in a concert. Mike Tyson, you heard of Mike Tyson?
Of course.
The only guy that was able to coach him to success, the only guy that was able to wrangle him and really get him to get to be successful, and once he went away, Mike Tyson lost it all, was Cus D'Amato. Cus. Cus only had one amateur fight in his entire fighting career. Now, let's talk about the best players in the game, right? Because we're going to say, well, if they've never done it, they should never coach you. Well, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Wayne Gretzky, some of the best players in their sports ever, best, failed as coaches and managers. Failed. Couldn't do it. Couldn't win. Wayne Gretzky is one of the worst coaches ever. Tony Robbins never did what he coaches people on what to do. All the Sharks, Marcus Lemonis, these are all people that are incredible coaches. See, some people are born to be coaches. Some people are born to be players. Now, I don't think I was born to be a player. I think there's some remarkable people that I'm fortunate enough to work with that are phenomenal players. But when it comes to coaching, I see angles that I really enjoy seeing, and I love building my team like a good coach does, right? Defensive guy, an offensive guy, all these different strategic guys, and that's what we've got. So that's my skill set, but I wanted to share that with you because you call me coach, and I appreciate you doing that, but I want people to know that even you, in what you do, you don't have to be a successful player to be an incredible leader. You have to be an incredible leader to be an incredible leader. And being an incredible player has nothing to do with your ability to lead and guide people down the right path. But anyway, I share that with you because I know you work with a lot of coaches, and I want you to make sure that they have confidence in themselves. They don't have to be a great player. Fair enough?
Yeah. Absolutely. We see it in soccer as well in the UK, and I think in any sport. Often it's those great players that get given those opportunities. So they just get fast-tracked to the very top, and then it turns out they can't do it. Whereas someone hasn't played, they had to really battle their way to get to that position, right? They had to really prove themselves. So I think it's often those guys that do absolutely make the best leaders. So I totally agree on that with you Mike. Tell us a bit about recruitment for Loud Rumor then. How do you recruit the best staff members? How do you create this great culture that you have at Loud Rumor? And maybe some of the listeners can learn something from that for their studios.
I think that's part of what makes a great coach is when people know that it's not about you, it's about the people you're looking to help. People want to be a part of that mission. So when I talk to any of these guys, Matt Kaffour, Corbin May, Brittany Welk, any of these guys that come on board and help, Rick Mayo, Frank Nash, all these guys that have come and contributed, I never told them I want to be the most successful anything. I don't even think in those terms. I don't even know what I would call them. I don't even know what I would say. I want to be the most successful what? I don't even know what my company's technically labeled as. I don't think it does anything that anyone else does. We are a full onboard agency that helps fitness studios in every aspect of growing their studio. But what I do want is I want to create the most successful fitness studio owners. That's what I want to do. And when I say that, other people know how to do that. Like Matt Kaffour knows what to do and how to do that. Corbin May knows what to do and how to do that. Brittany does. So when I say that, it attracts them because they're like, I like that too. I want to do that too. Nobody has interest in helping me be successful, right? They have interest in helping making a bigger impact, not just one guy, And so I think first thing is you lead with your why. What do you really care about? Everything we do here at this company is 100% built to help fitness studios grow and succeed. Our podcasts, our booklets that we've got here, Fitness Selling Secrets, Fitness Marketing Secrets. These are amazing booklets. Our conference, our boot camps, our marketing campaigns, our trainings on sales, marketing, advertisement, PR, HR, finance, everything you could think of, how to hire the right people. All these things, Jack, they know when they see it. It's like, okay, we're doing something else. Does it align with our mission? Yeah, this is really going to help studio owners. Great. Right? And so they get excited about it and they come up with incredible ideas that I am not going to come up with sometimes, right? Which is great for me and great for the members that we work with. But I think the first step is, what's my mission? And then once you are very clear with that's my mission, everyone else who has that same mission gets attracted to it. And they're like, I want that too. I can do that with you. So that's step one. Step two is being able to really articulate your mission and how they can contribute and what kind of an impact they would be able to make. Most of the best coaches don't care so much about the impact their clients would make on them. They care about the impact they can make on their clients. The best coaches, I've learned, they don't even care about their money. They care about other people's money and they just figure that that'll help us, you know. But so I articulate it well, and then from there, you kind of interrogate in a way where I want to know what kind of person I'm dealing with. Is this a person that is only looking to help if the what's in it for me exists, or is he looking to help because he doesn't know any other way? Like, this is a guy that if you asked him a question, doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m, he would answer and he'd be there for you. He expects nothing in return. That's just the way he is or she is. So that's the next thing. Because in order to be a good coach, my team knows, I think my clients know too, if they need me, it's 3 a.m. on a Sunday and they really need me, I'm going to get on that call and I'll stay on as long as I need to. And so when you start, you know, really going, okay, these are the things that I want, these are the things that I need. And by the way, what I'm doing is just for loud room, but this works for whatever you're hiring for. If you're a fitness studio and you're like, okay, what do I really want in my people? And what do I want my people to want in me? Like, what can we offer? And from there, it's just a game of like the dating game. Like, this is the perfect fit for us and we're the perfect fit for them. That's first step. Who are we the perfect fit for? As opposed to who's the perfect fit for our company. Who's our company the perfect fit for? And once you do that, then you can narrow it down to, okay, now are they perfect for us?
I think with recruitment, you just get better at it over time, right?
Yeah.
You get better at looking at the success stories that you've had with your team and the ones that didn't work out. And the thing that really helped me in the recruitment process was when I started framing it as like, are our values aligned? Rather than like, hey, you broke the rules, you didn't do this, you should be doing more of that. It's like, are we on the same page here? Do we have shared values? And once I had that switch, which I think was about 6 months into running base, things got a lot easier and actually made the conversations much easier that I had with my team, or if I let anyone go. So that was definitely a big switch for us. Now, Mike, I want to zone in on marketing for a moment. Just tell us about some of the channels that gyms can use to bring in members. I'll throw the first one out, which is probably my favorite, which is word of mouth referrals. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that, and then we can dive into some of the other channels.
Sure. And so, all channels. All channels. If you were to say, Mike, I've got a television for you, would you like cable with 3 channels or 100 channels? What do you think I'm going to pick?
100, of course.
I've got a library for you, 3 books or 100 books, right? So I want to be in front of most people. So when it comes to word of mouth, referrals, yes, absolutely. There's people that reactively get referrals and there's people that actively get referrals. And it's the same thing as reactively getting walk-ins or actively getting walk-ins. You have to say first, how many referrals did we get the month before, right? So you should be tracking that. How many referrals did we get? Okay, we got 16 referrals the last month before. Okay, now not just referrals, but referrals closed and referrals, right? So we got 16. Chances are, if you're even halfway decent at being a salesperson, just halfway, you should have got at least 15 out of 16 if they were referred in, because they already know the pricing. They know everything by the time they come in, right? So first is, how many do we get? The next thing is, okay, that's what we got. How do we get more, and how much more do we want? Okay, so yes, step 1, can we increase that by 20%? Okay, so that would be about 3 to 4 more. Let's go for 20. Let's go for 20 referrals in the following month. Excellent. How did we get the first 16? Okay, they came from this person, this person, this person, this person. Why? What are they getting out of it? What do they really like? Great. Who else is getting that in our studio? Who else is getting the same results? And also the people that actually referred us, who else do they know? And the people that they referred to us, are they getting the expectations that the first people sold them on? Because now they want to refer too. The best referrers are the one that got in by referral, because they want to keep it going. Oh yeah, my friend John told me about it. So it's a lot easier. So first, what did you do? Second, what do you want to do? Third, who do we go to get that done? Fourth, now how do we get it done? What's the process? What's the script? How do we ask it? And then number 5, how do we measure to know that we're on pace? So let's say it's 20 referrals, right? Which you could do the math on that. This month in September has 21 working days in America, right? Because we have Labor Day. So 21 working days. So that means less than 1 a day. At that point, I'd round up. I'd say 21, we need 1 a day. So if I got none today, then I know I need to now get probably like 1.1 per the rest of the month. And there's a formula for it. You just take the amount and divide it, right? And so every day, you know if you're ahead of pace and if you're behind pace, and you also know what you're projecting. Because you can say, okay, wow, we got 2 today, and it's the first day of the month. Based on that, we're projecting to get 42. right? Because if we do 2 a day every day, we'll get 42. That's awesome. What that really does too, Jack, is it allows you to start getting excited, because all of a sudden you're like, wow, we're on pace to get 42. And on the next day, if you get 2 again, you're like, we might get 42 this month. You're so excited. The activity that happens after is so different than if you were just whatever, we're winging it. There's nothing measured, right? So different. So now you're tracking, now you're projecting, now you're pacing. And the thing that we don't like is when that 42 goes to like 36. And we're like, ooh, I like the way 42 looks. So you work extra hard to get it back in the 40s. The funny thing is at that point, that's your new baseline. You only know how to get like 30 to 40 referrals. What do you think your goal is going to be the following month? That again, plus a little more. And then you do it again.
Mindset shift, right?
Whatever gets measured gets improved. That's just the way it works, right? It's with anything. I mean, how many trainers would be successful if they weren't measuring results? Right? So
that brings us nicely on to, yeah, if you want to go into metrics, any other numbers that we should be thinking about and looking at?
Yeah, every number. I mean, look, whatever numbers you want to improve, whatever numbers you wish were better, you should be looking at. You want more leads? Look at that number. And know what that number looks like and how often, like on a daily basis, what are you bringing in? You want more people to show? Okay, find out what's your show ratio right now. You want more people to close? Find out what your close ratio is. You want people to spend more money with you? Find out what they're spending right now on average. Get that dollar amount up. You want people to stay with you longer? Find out how long on average you stay with you right now. It doesn't matter. Whatever number you want to improve, you should be paying attention to tracking and measuring and talking about on a weekly basis. What do we have to do to improve it or keep it going, depending on if you're behind pace or ahead of pace. And on a daily basis, you're checking it throughout the day. Like the important numbers, you know what they are all day. If you're a fitness studio owner, you should know how many active recurring members you have no matter what time I call you. If I called any studio owner right now, a good one, if I say, hey, how many active monthly recurring members you have right now, people on EFT, they should be able to say 120. If they can't say 120, that means their eyes aren't on it. Just like if you ask LeBron James in the middle of any NBA game, what's the score? And how much time is left on the clock? He should be able to tell you. It's 115, 114, we're down by 1 with a minute and a half left. Okay, you should know that, he's a pro, right?
Let's talk for a moment to that studio owner that just is really struggling, because I think that is the case with many in Asia, and I'm sure it's the case in the States as well. You've opened a studio, you're about 6 months in, you thought you'd created something good, and things just aren't working. Let's say you underestimated the business side, which so commonly happens. How would we start to troubleshoot that? Because I think this is a situation that many people are in.
Well, first figure out why and what is not working. So, for example, there's so many things that could be not working. Do you have people coming in the door and they're showing up to their appointments but they're not buying? You got a sales problem. You got people booking but they're not showing? You got a confirmation problem or a setting appointment problem. You got people opting into things, but you can't get a hold of them, or you're not getting them to book an appointment. Okay, you got a booking an appointment problem. You don't have leads coming in, you've got a marketing problem, right? You don't have people staying with you, you got a retention problem, you got a customer service problem. So I think the first thing is, where are we really, like, where's the biggest missing link here? Because if you got a lot of leads coming in, but you're not making sales, we're not going to fix the marketing. We got to fix the scripts. What's going on in why are we not making sales? But if you've got 12, 14 leads coming in a month and you're making 8 to 10 sales, well, you got to fix the marketing. How do we make that 100 leads or 150 leads? If you got 150 leads come in and you made 10 sales out of only 12 people that showed up, well, we've got a booking problem. You see what I'm saying? We need to get more of these leads to show up. We're closing fine. And if you're keeping people forever, you don't have that problem. But if all of a sudden you feel like you're shoveling the snow while it's snowing, no matter what, you sign 10 members, you lose 10 members. You got a retention problem. So first thing is know where you're messing up. And then at that point, then say why. Why are we messing up? These sales scripts that we wrote out, did we really use like who came up with the sales script and what's it based on? Is it just based on what we think sounds good? Because what sounds good doesn't work. So McDonald's, you guys have McDonald's everywhere, right? I don't know if they have the same terminologies out there, but here, when you order a burger, they ask you, would you like fries with that? Right? Do you know they've... Okay, do you know imagine that. Where you're at, where are you at again?
Thailand.
You're in Thailand and they're asking, would you like fries with that? So do you know they tested 6 different phrases over a period of time to determine which one converted the most members to fries? Right? So there's a difference between would you like fries with that and can I add fries to your meal? Or would you like to upcharge to fries? Like there's so many different things they could say that would essentially ask the same thing, but it's not what you ask, it's how you ask it. And so they've learned that. So what is this script based on? Is it based on anything? Or does it sound good? Does it still it says what we want them to do? Well, that's not good enough. So we've got to take a look at that and say, do we bring in somebody that knows how to do this better? Who do we know that's really good at sales right now? Is there another studio that's even across the country, so they're not threatened by us, that's selling really well that we can pay them $1,000 to help them understand what we could be doing better on the sales side because they're doing really well? Yeah, it's worth it.
Of course, they can come to Loud Rumor and speak to you guys.
If
someone's considering whether to speak to an agency such as yourself, or they're wondering whether to do it in-house, maybe save a little bit of money, like what are the considerations there when deciding whether to go with an agency or not?
Well, you should never do it in-house. You know, and the people that tell you should do it in-house are the people that only have an in-house solution to sell you. I have both. So the people that say, yeah, you should, okay, we've got that for you. If you're adamant about it, go do it. I'll make money either way, so I don't want you to think I'm being biased here. But if you want to know my opinion, why would you do it in-house? So, Jack, let's say you were to hire an employee. What's an average employee at a fitness studio cost out there in Thailand per month?
If it's a front desk member of staff, you're looking at around $600, $700 a month.
Part-time?
That'd be full-time.
Full-time, okay. You know what it's like here in the U.S.? Full-time?
2 times that? 3 times that?
Like $2+ grand, right? $2+ grand. So now if you hired somebody at the lower tier level, which would be about that $2+ grand, Jack, if they're a lower tier level employee, how good do you think they are at anything? If they're at the low end of a pay scale and they're accepting the position, you think they're pretty good at anything right now?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No. If they were any good, the previous guy would have paid them more. And they would have a higher worth, and they won't go, people don't go down. You don't make $3,000 a month and then go look for and accept a job at $2,200. You don't do that. You're now stuck here. So if they're at $2,000, that means the last place paid them that. And they either got fired or quit on that number, right? So now you're paying this person $2,000 a month, plus you still got to pay ad spend. But worse, you got to risk it. Because you know this person's not at the highest level of anything, otherwise he'd be paid more. And you say, hey, here's $1,000 of my hard-earned money. Go to the casino with it on Facebook, and let's see if we get some leads. And you're going to have this person have time to build out Facebook ad campaigns, Instagram ad campaigns, landing pages, funnels. They're going to have to know how to do that first, okay? And that takes time. And if the owner's doing it, worse yet, who's the most valuable employee at the company every time? Who?
Founder, the owner.
Of course. Because if anything happens, who's the one that's going to always reach into their personal finances to get the job done? The owner.
Yeah.
Employees aren't going to go, here, I know the company's dealing with some stress right now. Here's $15,000 out of my savings. I wanted to help the company survive. They're not going to do that. And they shouldn't do that.
It's so common though, you know, I think this is a really important point to get out. I mean, I see it a lot. Small studio opened up and someone's just doing everything. They're trying to do the social media, they're mopping the floors between classes.
Then you're not doing anything well. You're not doing anything well. You're either the jack of all trades or you're the king of one. But that means you can't do everything at 100%. You can do one thing at 100%, then you could do 2 things at 50-50 or 80-20 or 70-30, right? But you can't do 2 things at 100%. It makes no sense. You can't even do it. So number one, you should never do the marketing, the advertising. If there's sources out there that you can hire, because if you do I know for us, we'll spend 12 to 15 hours on an account per month. That's us. Keep in mind, we move fast. Like we move quick. We got incredible lightning speed here. We got systems, process for everything. But then you got studio owners that they don't have all that. And so what takes us 12 to 15, it's going to take them 30 to 40 at least. What's the hourly rate? I bet you if you do the math, they're already overspending than if they just went with somebody else, right? Like a vendor. So me personally, the only time I think you should have anything is in-house is if you have now grown into several locations, like you've got like 12, 15 locations, and you now have an in-house staff to help all your locations, and you found a stud that has a passion for it and you can afford, because a good person, any of my account managers don't make less than 50K. And I've got some that have been with us, the seniors, that are making close to 6 figures. That's what you're going to pay to get quality, right? And so if you've grown to that point, then yeah. But if you're one location, 2, 3 locations, like outsource that, get it done.
Yeah, such an important message to get out. And I think it is part of that transition from coach into business owners to start to think, yeah, I'm going to invest some money into this. I'm going to put this off on my plate so I can focus on the important stuff, which might be recruiting great coaches or training them up or spending more time on them, the stuff that only you can do. I think that's a very important message to get out. So thank you, Mike. Mike, tell us about 1 or 2 of the big success stories that you've had at Loud River with some of your
can I tell you a more recent one instead of the biggest one, because it's pretty big and it just happened. It was actually the GSD show that came out today. So this is just around limiting beliefs. We had this guy, Brandon. He's an employee, not an owner, an employee. It's important I emphasize that because most owners will tell you their employees can't sell as good as them. That's what most owners will tell you. In reality, what they're really saying is, we can't train our people to sell as well as me because I don't even know why I'm selling so well. I think it's because of my skill set, but it's really because of my enthusiasm and my passion, and I'm the owner. But if I actually knew how to sell, I could teach my people how to sell better. It's really what it comes down to, right? LeBron James can't teach someone how to jump higher. He just jumps high. He doesn't know what he's doing. So anyway, so going back, this guy Brandon reached out to his account manager and said, "Look, I've got a real challenge right now. Everyone's price conscious. I think it's because of the pandemic. Everyone's price conscious. First thing out of everyone's mouth is price, and I don't know how to get around it. And I can't get anybody to book an appointment with me. I can't get anybody to show, and those that do show don't buy. I'm not making any sales. What do I do?" So I got on the phone with him, and I, just like this, a Zoom call, I recorded it, and I put it live in the Facebook group, and I put it on our blog, and I did a call with him, and I told him exactly what to do. Then he called me back 6 days later to say he got 11 leads, booked 11 appointments, 11 showed, 11 bought, not one person asked about price until the end. Put that video on a blog of him saying that. So now I got 2. I got the before and I got the after. And then Jack, he calls me 30 days later to tell me he finally got his first no after 45 in a row of people buying. Not one error, 45 in a row. 45 sign-up streak. An employee at a studio during a global pandemic who previous to that was saying everyone was price conscious, no one wants to buy. That's a mindset issue. What he was really saying is, I don't know how to get these people to buy. See, one's people won't do it. The other's, I don't know how to get it done. He said, I don't know how to get it done. He wanted help. And fortunately for all of us, he is an incredible implementer. He took action, he did it, right? That's a very important part of being successful. You have to be a great coachable person, right? I always aim to be I have 6 coaches. I always aim to be my coach's best student, always. And Brandon became my favorite student that day. At least for right now, it's amazing, right? So, and he's executed extremely well, and I'm very proud of that because honestly, the advice means nothing if he doesn't do the work. I did 1%. He had to do 99. But that to me is an incredible success story because I think that helped a lot of people in our Facebook group. All of our studios are in there. It helped a lot of them go, okay, so it can be done. I just got to learn how. And Mike just showed us how through Brandon, and now let's go ahead and get it done.
Yeah, I think it's important to tell those stories just so that people do realize these things work if they're implemented well, if they're done right. Now, Mike, I want to talk for a moment to the person that's thinking about working with an agency. What advice can you give them to get the most out of working with an agency? Because I'm sure you do get times when someone gives you money and then doesn't quite follow through on the things that you say. So let's help people get the most out of their relationship with River or whoever they're working with.
So here's the deal. I'll answer that question. However, you've got to give me the opportunity to give away some free tips at the end of this that'll help them be successful right after listening. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like it's one big sales pitch, and I don't want it to be that. Is that fair enough?
Okay.
So I'll tell you how they could be a successful client, but then after that, let me give away at least 4 or 5 strong tips that'll help them make money right away. Fair?
It's a deal.
Okay. All right. So if you want to really be a great client, Anybody that works at an agency will tell you this. Any one of my account managers would be here nodding their head saying yes right now if I told you this. Number one, be very coachable. Don't be a know-it-all, right? It's very important that you know, and it depends on the issue. If you're working with a freelancer, some guy you found on Craigslist, or they got 6 clients, or they don't even niche in fitness, they got like 2 fitness clients, everybody else is everything else, well, then you're probably going to have to speak a lot more. You're probably going to have to give them help because they don't even understand the lingo, the terminology. You know, they don't know EFT and monthly recurring members. They don't deal with that in most other things. But when you're working with a company like us that's worked with 2,000 plus studios, 50 franchises in the space, please allow us to share what works, you know, because it does. And we've caught a lot of patterns along the way, and we've tested a lot with other people's money so you don't have to. The only way you'll be testing it with your money is if we go with your idea first. Make sense? And it might work, but it's a gamble as opposed to some more sure bets. Does that make sense? Okay, so number one, be willing to be coachable and be willing to not know all the answers. Number two, be willing to be patient. Like it's marketing. It's not like you order a burger and a burger comes. That's not how it works. It's like any other investment, right? If you're going to go to stocks today and you invested in Tesla and Tesla went down, you're not like, oh, Ameritrade didn't work. Ameritrade didn't do anything wrong. You put money in, it might go up, it might go down. We don't know, but your job, our job as a broker is to be able to learn what and why it's not working and make adjustments and optimize as quickly as possible. But it's not an ATM, right? For some people it is because, again, we've tested a lot. So I just want to make sure that everyone goes with that expectation rather than be overly surprised later. But yeah, it's not like you put money in and money just kind of flows out. You've got to know that sometimes in your market, with your niche, with your studio, with your current message, all we really do is we take your studio, your concept, your brand, your offer, and we just put it out to the right people. If the people didn't bite on it, that doesn't mean there aren't fish, and it doesn't mean we don't know how to fish. It just means we got the wrong bait, and we may need to switch out the worm with some power bait. That's all it is, but we've got to test, right? As fisherman does the same thing. Again, now fishermen that fishes in these ponds, they're able to get to the right bait sooner. But even then, sometimes they're wrong and they switch and play around with things. It's a good fisherman, it's a good marketer as well. Next thing, you've got to understand the difference between marketing and sales. A lot of people think it's the same thing. It's not. An agency's job is not to make sales for you. We are a log in the fire. That's what we are. Just like referrals, just like reviews, just like seminars that you may do, just like challenges that you may run, all the things of ways to get business, these are all logs in the fire. We're a log in the fire. Okay, we're a really good log, but we're a log. So what that means is if you are banking on this one log to light up your whole house, you're in trouble. Like you should have other things working. There's no Facebook ad campaign that's going to turn a business around. There isn't. The best operators can have a shitty month through pay-per-click, and they'll still have a fantastic month overall. Because they could, just like a great coach of a sports team could have their best player have a bad shooting night and they could still win the game because they adjust, right? So we should be a log and we adjust on our end and all that too, but you've got to understand that can happen and we will adjust, we'll get there, but you got to understand it could take a few weeks for us to really find a rhythm. Next thing, you got to understand that just like I said, difference between sales and marketing, a marketer's job is like the quarterback. Their job is to throw the ball and hit the target. A salesperson job, the studio's job after, is to catch the ball. If Tom Brady, the best quarterback, arguably, ever, throws the ball and hits the guy square in the chest and it bounces off of him, that's not Brady's fault at that point. That is the receiver's fault for not catching the ball or not practicing well enough beforehand to know how to catch the ball when it comes in. Now, if Brady throws the ball way over there and the receiver never even has a ball coming to him, well, then now we need to get a new quarterback. Does that make sense? Yeah. Lastly, to go on to that theme, last thing, you've got to understand that you've got to be a great business owner. You shouldn't rely on an agency for your success. Again, we're a log. You should not be successful because of an agency that you hire. You should just be more successful because of an agency that you hire, right? Same thing with employees, right? And same things with your accountant or bookkeeper or anything else. So you should really understand the rules of business. One thing I've been saying on different podcasts that I've been on is I think the reason so many fitness studios have gone out of business, and by the way, in our coaching programs, not one has not only gone out of business, but not even paused, okay? So the reason that studios and a lot of small businesses have gone out of business is because they were in a good economy, and when you're running a business in a good economy, it's equivalent to bowling with the toddler bumpers on. You know the bumpers so that you can't miss? You can literally throw it in the gutter and go boom, 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 and hit all these pins, right? It's for the child's confidence. It's to make him delusional of how good he actually is. So he's hitting all these pins and he's like, yeah, and he's cheering. Meanwhile, that thing would have gone in the gutter 10 out of 10 times. When the recession kicks in, it's like, boom, gutters come up. And now all the people that didn't really know how to bowl, they find themselves in the gutter. And that's what a lot of businesses are finding themselves in the gutter. The businesses that really took the time to study the game of bowling and know how to truly bowl, they never needed the bumpers in the first place. In fact, they're just fine. In fact, it's game's easier for them because all the people that they were kind of competing with because they were hitting the bumpers are now gone. So to get good to where you don't have to count on anything, you've got to understand the game at the highest level. And when you understand the game at the highest level, you don't have to be as dependent. You could be more independent, and you could bring on people to assist you when you want. And so I think a lot of our studios have done a remarkable job of working hard to be good owners and good business people and learning about the things that even some people consider dull, like finance and operations and systems and leadership, some of the most important pillars in having a successful anything, right? Sales and marketing is what people find sexy. So they outsource for that and they expect that to do the whole job. But just because it's sexy doesn't mean it's something you should marry. It's just sexy, right? Like, so there's stuff going on. And so you want to make sure you have a really well-rounded plan. Okay, is that fair as far as what people should expect?
That's fair, Mike.
If you're going to work with me, I'll tell you this one last thing. Who my market is, my best client are people that are hungry. People that are, I want to go all in. I've made my decision. I will be the best. I want to figure it out. I'll do whatever it takes, and they actually do. That's my best client. If you're, we'll see what happens. I really don't want to do extra work. I don't want to read. I'm not really a reader. If you're going to hate me. I'm going to annoy you. You're going to think I'm annoying. I'm too much. I'm just too into the whole thing. You're not going to want me in your life. So if you're here, if you're kind of like, we'll just kind of see how, don't even come here, don't even hire me, it's not gonna be good. But if you're like, look, I want to work with the best because I want to be the best, this is where you come. My whole team's the best.
It's a relationship, right? Just like hiring someone for your team, you need to make sure that, hey, you kind of got shared values here. You kind of want someone to be hungry. You want, one of the biggest things I took from what you just said was you want them to take responsibility, right? Like an agency is not just going to solve all of your problems. No one's going to solve all of your problems except for yourself. So you guys can help. You guys can throw gasoline on the fire, but ultimately they're going to really have to make things happen. Now we're pretty much at a hard cutoff point, Mike, so I want to wrap things up. Are there any points you wanted to make today?
Yeah. No, I'm going to go over if it's okay with you. Is it okay with you? I'm going to give them. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So number one, something you should do right away is you should go to our blog and you should go, it's free. You don't even have to opt in. Go in and watch the video where I coach Brandon on how to sell those appointments. It's free. Okay. So you go to loudrumor.com/blog. The whole before and after video are there, okay? It's all right there. And plus a whole written out documented process of what to do and why it works, okay? So that's number one. Second thing, I want you guys to go to the GSD Show and I want you to look for Matt Kafora's episode and Corbin May's episode. Matt Kafora's episode and Corbin May's. These two guys are strong leaders in the fitness studio space, super successful, and have literally given you step-by-step processes and what to do in certain areas, okay? Number three, you have to have a scoreboard. Your people and you need to know what the score is and how much time is left every single day, throughout the day. So set a goal for yourself. We actually created it for our entire organization, like all of our studios, and it's called #2590. 2590 means every studio that works with me that really is committed to doing this mission with me, over the next 90 days, we're increasing their business by 25%. That's 25% increase in what they're doing in 90 days. And I'm literally giving them step-by-step on how to do that with everything. How to increase your pricing, how to charge more, how to sell more to your members, how to retain people, how to get win-backs, all of that stuff, right? So make a commitment. I'm going to increase my business by this much in this much time frame, and then work backwards, set a plan to actually get there, okay? Next thing, all your people should be working off scripts. Every single one should have sales scripts that they're reading off of and a documented plan, okay? So if you go to membershipsalesguide.com, you can get that for free too, okay? membershipsalesguide.com. But everyone should be reading off a script. Now, some people are going to say, Jack, I don't want to read off a script. It's inauthentic. I don't want to go off a script. I don't want to be a robot. If you were to record your salespeople doing their pitches, they're doing scripts anyway. I bet you they're saying the same thing every time. If somebody says they want to pause, they say the same thing every time. If somebody wants to book an appointment, they say the same thing every time. If somebody says I need to think about it, they say the same thing anytime. They're using scripts anyway. They're just not using one that was intentionally written to overcome. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The best everything uses scripts. What does a chef call his scripts? A chef. What does he call his scripts?
Recipe.
Yep. What does a coach in a sport call his scripts?
Yeah, game plan.
Yep. What does a musician call his scripts?
Yeah, sheets of music, I guess.
Yeah. And what about a singer? Lyrics. Can you think of an architect, blueprint? Can you think of anyone that's a professional that doesn't have scripts? No.
What I find as well is that over time, you actually don't read off the script. You know it so well that boom, out it comes. So it definitely helped me a lot kind of overcome that barrier.
100%. Exactly. Yes. It's only a script in the beginning. And then once you practice it, it's now the new thing that you say. And it works. It was written to work. And so always use scripts. Next, if you're building your team, challenge them. Don't sell them on your business. If anything, sell them on not working for you. Right? And I say things, if you listen to my interview processes, I tell people this will be the hardest job you ever have. This will be the hardest job you ever. I even tell people you're going to cry probably within the first month. It's going to be that hard. You're probably going to cry. At moments you're going to want to quit. This is not for the weak. There's no negativity here. Anybody that's negative, my team will eat you alive. It's not going to happen. You want to work hard. Everyone that comes here, I don't care how long you work here, but while you're here, you will be successful. There's no room for average. We don't want to be around it. And so what happens is there's a lot of people that are like, that's heavy. Good, I want it to be heavy. But the right people, they go, that's me. That's me. And great, bring them in. So push your people, challenge your people, because they grow. And the cool thing is whatever's easy for them today, once you push them to another limit, that new thing that they thought was hard is now easy. Much like if I'm only able to curl 25 pounds, right? And then I keep getting better at it. I can't do 30 yet, but now I go to 30. Now I can curl 30 12 times. Well, 30 is as easy as 25 was at once. The weight didn't change. My strength did. And so look for people that want to be pushed and that you can push, because they're never going to earn more money unless they earn more responsibility. And they'll never earn more responsibility without over exceeding their expectations. And so their goal is to earn more money. Your job is to help them get there. And by the way, if they're
the sign of a strong company culture when someone feels very quickly whether they fit in and whether they don't. And again, it just comes back to values. Are the values aligned with that new person that's come in? And when the rest of the team recognizes whether they're a good fit or not, I think you really know that you're on the right path as a company. Mike, you've been very generous with your time today. I do really appreciate it. I'm going to have your team, if you don't mind, send through all of those links, because there was quite a lot to take in there, so they can send those through. We will leave all of those in the show notes of the episode. Mike, any final words? And also, where can we find you? Where can we reach out to Loud Rumor?
Yeah, so I would say you can go to loudrumor.com, or you can go to that membershipsalesguide.com to go ahead and get that stuff. And you could always call in 2480-750-9774.
Nice. Thank you, Mike. I do appreciate it. And I just want to say the final word. I love that 2590. It's powerful, it's strong. And again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning. You know you're dealing with a good marketing agency when they market themselves well. 25% up in 90 days. I love it, Mike.
You go to 2590club, 2590club.com to learn more about what we're doing there.
Nice. We will leave that as well. Mike, thank you again. Let's keep in touch and I'll catch you soon.
Thanks a lot, Jack. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, or YouTube. And to watch more episodes and get exclusive links from each episode, go to gsdshow.com. Again, that's gsdshow.com.